Let us evaluate the integral of sine to the power of 11 of x. When dealing with an integral of sine, you would first need to factor out a sine of x whenever you have an odd exponent. So this would be sine to the power of 10 of x multiplied by the factored out sine of x of dx. And the next step would be to transform what's left into its trigonometric identity. Know that sine squared of x plus cosine squared of x would be equal to 1. This is the Pythagorean identity, but in trigonometric terms. Since what we have here would be sine, put cosine squared of x to the other side, and so you would have sine squared of x would be equal to 1 minus cosine squared of x. Since what we need here is only sine squared of x, compress it, thus making this sine 2x, sine squared of x, to the power of 5. Now that you have this, just put it or transform according to its identity. Now, the next step would be to expand this expression. What we have here is 1 minus cosine squared of x raised to the power of 5. This is an expansion. This would be the formula, which is a minus b to the power of 5. Based on the Pascal's triangle, our coefficient here would be 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. And so this would be 1 multiplied by a to the power of 5 minus the next coefficient would be 5. And the a value here would decrease by 1. So this would be a to the power of 4. And so the b here now would be ascending order plus 10a cubed multiplied by b squared minus 10a squared multiplied by b to the power of 3 plus 5 multiplied by a b to the power of 4 minus 1 multiplied by b to the power of 5. So this is the formula for that, where a here represents 1 and cosine squared of x represents b. And now when we expand this expression, this would be the integral of 1a multiplied by 1 multiplied by a to the power of 5 would be simply 1 minus 5 multiplied by a to the power of 4. It is only 5 again. Multiply it by b, which is cosine squared of x, plus 10. Once again, a here would be 1, so no matter how much power it has, it is only 1 again. B squared right here would be cosine squared of x to the power of 2, or this would be cosine to the power of 4 of x, minus 10 multiplied by b cubed, which is cosine to the power of 6 of x, plus 5b to the power of 4 would be cosine to the power of 8 of x, minus b to the power of 5 would be cosine to the power of 10 of x. Minus 1b to the power of 5 would be cosine to the power of 10 of x. And copy what's left, which is sine of x dx. I will just put it in here. Now that we have this one, the next step would be to use u substitution on cosine in here, because it has a lot of cosine. Let u here be cosine of x. Taking the derivative, it would be negative sine of x. And since it is respect to x, multiply this by dx. Isolate dx, you would have a value of du over negative sine of x. Now that we have that, we can now substitute all of these values. So this would be the integral of 1 minus 5 cosine squared of x would be u to the power of 2, since cosine of x is simply u, plus 10 u to the power of 4 minus 10 u to the power of 6 plus 5 multiplied by u to the power of 8 minus u to the power of 10 and multiply this by sine of x, and the dx value here would be equal to this one, which would be negative du over sine of x, For this, let us simplify. You can see here that sine of x would cancel, which leaves you with a negative du, but that cannot happen. So just put the negative sign outside the integral. And what you have left here would be negative the integral of this value right here. Multiplied by du. You can see here now that we can integrate this one by one via power rule. Let's do that. First, put negative sign outside this and multiply this by the value of this integral right here, starting with the integral of 1 du, which is simply u, minus 5 multiplied by the integral of u squared would be u to the power of 3 over 3 plus 10 multiplied by the integral of this one would be u to the power of 5 over 5, and just integrate the rest. And add the constant of integration. And so distribute first the negative sign and simplify all the values here if it can be. Then divided by 5 would be 2. Now that you have that, for your final answer, just put u back into their original form. U here once again would be equal to cosine of x. And so your final answer here would be equal to negative cosine of x plus 5/3 cosine cube of x minus 2 cosine to the power of 5 of x plus 10 over 7 cosine to the power of 7 of x minus 5 over 9 cosine to the power of 9 of x plus 1 over 11 cosine to the power of 11 of x plus c.